morning. We were learning the topic, the President of India. Today we learn two topics. One is the removal of the President of India, and the second one is the executive powers of the President of India. President is the head of the nation. He is the constitutional head. But the real head of the nation is the Prime Minister, because Prime Minister runs the day-to-day administration. Since the President is not interfering in the day-to-day administration of the country, he is said to be the constitutional head. According to the Constitution, President of India is the head of the nation. But since the day-to-day administration of the country is managed by the Prime Minister, he is known as the real head of the nation. Okay, last time we have discussed about the election of the President. After the election, the President takes the charge. The candidate who won majority of votes, majority that means the candidate who secured simple majority will be elected as the President of India, or will be declared as the President of India. And before taking the charge, the President of India takes an oath of office. An oath of office. In the oath of office, he swears that he shall discharge the duties sincerely. He shall defend and protect the Constitution. Like this, some oath or some pledges. Okay, something is sworn by the President, that is called the oath of office. And this oath of office is administered by the Chief Justice of India. The Chief Justice of Supreme Court is known as the Chief Justice of India, and Chief Justice of India administers oath of office to the President of India. In the absence of the Chief Justice of India, the senior most judge of the Supreme Court also can administer the oath of office to the President of India. Normally, the Chief Justice of India administers oath of office to the President of India. And we learned the topic, vacation of seat or vacation of the office of President of India. Due to the death of the President, the office of President of India shall become vacant. Due to the resignation of the President also, the office of President becomes vacant. Resignation means if the President, by some reasons, is not able to discharge his functions, not able to continue as the President of India, he can write a resignation letter addressing to the Vice President of India, and thus he can resign. And one more case, the office of the President of India shall become vacant, that is removal of the President. Removal of the President is termed as impeachment. Okay, impeachment. Removal of the President from his office is called impeachment. If the President goes against the Constitution, he can be removed from the office. And that process is called impeachment. Impeachment process is not an easy one. It is very difficult. So far, no President of India has been impeached. The President of India can be impeached on the grounds of violation of Constitution. Okay, the reason for the removal of President is violation of Constitution. The President of India can be impeached on the grounds of violation of Constitution. Remember, the President of India can be impeached on the grounds of violation of Constitution. There is a question, on what grounds the President of India can be impeached? Okay. Ground, that means the reason. Okay. And the process of impeachment is, if ground is violation of Constitution, if a charge is leveled against the President that he has violated the Constitution, he is going against the provisions of the Constitution, then a motion can be moved in any of the houses of the Parliament. A motion named impeachment motion can be moved, or a proposal for the impeachment motion can be moved in any of the houses of the Parliament. And before, or in order to move this impeachment motion, a 14 days notice should be given to the presiding officer. In any of the house, that means in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha, any house can move this proposal for impeachment. So, what is the requirement of a 14 days notice should be given to the presiding officer? If it is in Lok Sabha, then to the speaker, or in Rajya Sabha to the chairman. 14 days notice should be given, and the presiding officer shall allow the impeachment motion only if 1/4 of the house is agreeing with that proposal. At least 1/4 of the total strength of the house is demanding for an impeachment motion. Then only the presiding officer will allow impeachment motion. That is the one of the basic requirement for impeachment motion. Minimum 25% of the total strength of the house should demand for the impeachment of the president. And if such a demand is accepted by the presiding officer, then the matter can be discussed in the house. Okay. Once the impeachment motion is allowed in the house, either house can move it. If it is allowed in any of the houses of the Parliament, then the discussions will be there against the charges leveled against the President, and there can be a close investigation even whether the charges leveled against the President is correct or wrong. To find it out, an investigation also may be held. And after that, finally, any decision in the houses of Parliament is taken on the basis of majority's opinion. And in order to know the majority's opinion, the matter is put to vote. Here also, for the impeachment motion also, the matter will be put to vote. And if it gets 2/3 majority in the house, okay, in whichever house it is introducing first, in that house it is getting 2/3 members support, 2/3 of the majority, then only the motion can be passed in that house. 2/3 majority means the members present for voting. So 2/3 majority is there, it is the impeachment motion is set to be passed in that house. If the motion is passed in the first house, then it can be sent to the next or the other house. Okay, first suppose if the impeachment motion is passed in the Lok Sabha, after passing it with 2/3 majority, the motion will be, impeachment motion will be sent to the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha also, they will discuss the matter, and they also will conduct investigation, and procedure will be there. And finally, the matter will be put to vote in Rajya Sabha also, or in the other house also, in order to know the opinion of majority of the members. Suppose if majority of the members are agreeing in that house also, the impeachment motion is passed. Suppose in the first house when it is introduced, it has passed, but when it is sent to the other house, it failed to get two-thirds majority, then the impeachment motion is lost. Okay, if it is getting two-thirds majority in the other house, then the impeachment motion has been passed, the president can be removed. So, the president of India can be removed by the parliament by a procedure called impeachment motion. And the requirement for an impeachment motion is, first of all, in order to introduce the motion, it must have the support of minimum 25% of the total strength of that house. And it should be passed by two-thirds of majority, with the two-thirds of majority in both houses of the parliament and a simple majority of the parliament. Simple majority of that means two-thirds majority separately in each house of the parliament, along with the simple majority of the entire parliament. That is required in order to remove the president from his power. So this procedure is called impeachment motion, and I told in the beginning it is very difficult to impeach the president because it is very difficult to get two-thirds majority in each house of the parliament. That is why impeachment motion is very difficult, and that is the reason why there is no president has been impeached yet. Okay, that's all about the impeachment motion. Then we learn some of the powers and functions of the President of India. Powers and functions of President of India. And first we learn the executive powers. Powers and functions of President. President enjoys vast powers. The president exercises vast powers. But although he has vast powers, these powers can be enjoyed only on the recommendation of the Prime Minister. He has much limitation. President has much limitation. He has vast power at his disposal, but he cannot enjoy any of these powers without the consent of the Prime Minister. Only on the recommendation of the Prime Minister, the President can enjoy his powers. Some of the powers of the President. First one is executive powers. President is the head of Union administration or the Union government. President is the head of the Union government. He is the executive head, and all the executive orders are issued on behalf of President. All the executive orders are issued in the name of President. That is one of the executive power. He is the head of Union administration. Head of Union administration. All the executive orders are issued on behalf of President of India. The administration of border areas and union territories are his responsibility. Administration of border areas. Areas and union territories are in the charge of President. The President directly administers union territories and the border areas. The President makes all the important appointments of the state. All the important appointments of the state. Here the state means nation. Okay. All the important appointments has been done by the president only. All the important appointments like executive as well as the high officials. The high officials and the executives are appointed by the president. The president, first of all, some of the important appointments made by the president are important appointments made by the president is one is the appointment of Prime Minister. Prime Minister is appointed by the President of India. After the general election, the President calls the leader of majority party to form the government. So thus, the President appoints the Prime Minister. And after the appointment of Prime Minister, the President appoints other ministers on the advice of the Prime Minister. After the appointment of Prime Minister gives a list of members, and these members are appointed as ministers by the President. So the President appoints the Council of Ministers on the advice of Prime Minister. Again, the President appoints governors of all the states. Governor is the direct nominee of the President. President appoints governors of all the states. The President appoints lieutenant governors of the union territories. Just as the states are having governors, the union territories having a lieutenant governor or a chief commissioner. Okay. So the lieutenant governors are also appointed by the President. President can appoint the Attorney Generals. Attorney General is not Attorney Generals. Attorney General. Attorney General is a legal advisor of the government, central government. So Attorney General is appointed by the President. The President appoints the Controller and Auditor General of India, who sees or checks the financial matters. The highest officer who checks the financial matters is called the Controller and Auditor General. And the Controller and Auditor General of India is also appointed by the President of India. The President of India appoints ambassadors to other countries. India sends ambassadors to other countries. Okay, Indian ambassador to Russia, Indian ambassador to China, Indian ambassador to Pakistan. So the countries with which India is maintaining diplomatic relations send an envoy of Indian envoy to those countries. Such an envoy is called the ambassador, and all the ambassadors are appointed by the President. Similarly, the President only receives ambassadors from other countries. Just as India is sending ambassadors to other countries are also sending ambassadors to various countries. So, ambassadors from various countries are coming to India, and the President of India receives these ambassadors. Okay, then the President appoints Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts. Okay, the President appoints all the judges of Supreme Court and High Courts, Chief Justice and other judges of Supreme Court and High Courts. In all the courts, means Supreme Court and in all the High Courts, there is one Chief Justice and some other judges. So all these Chief Justice of Supreme Court and the High Courts and all the other judges of Supreme Court and High Courts are also appointed by the President of India. In short, President appoints all the judges of Supreme Court and High Courts. President appoints the Chief of Armed Forces. Chief means the armed force is having three wings. Defense is having three wings: Army, Air Force, and Navy. And the chief of all these three wings of the armed forces is also appointed by the President. So similarly, all the important appointments of the state are done by the President. The high officials of the state and the executives are appointed by the President of India. That's all about the executive powers of a President. So today's topic, one is impeachment and the other is executive powers of President. You read this topic well and you learn it well. Okay. And today I am giving you one question and you answer the question and you forward it on my WhatsApp. The question is, what are the reasons for holding the presidential election indirectly? What are the reasons for holding presidential election indirectly? We have learned yesterday. Presidential election is indirect election, and why it is held indirectly? You write the answers and you forward it. When you write the answer, you write your name first. Okay, you write your name on the page first. Okay, and then you write the answer and you forward it. Okay, thank you.